Welcome to the episode of the Taylor Complaints Comedy Podcast. I don't know what episode this is. Episode, who gives a shit? How are you? What's going on? It's been a week. It's been a week and a couple days. I was so sick. I was so deathly ill. I haven't been that ill in a long time. And I know, all of my haters are very happy. God, I felt so gay saying that. Welcome to Trump's America, where we can say things are gay again. That's the only good thing that we get from him being president now? Like, that's insane. We're into December. I apologized last week for snorting so much. All that stuff. I apologize. I keep making dad noises. I don't mean to do it. It's just like after you're done being sick, that residual phlegm is very frustrating and gross. And if I don't snort it away, it will just sit there in the back of my throat while you try to eat breakfast, and then I have to let it out. I have to ruin your meal. I know I probably I unsubscribed by 16 people because of that, but it's fine. It's fine. I understand that we have some things to work on. It was gross. It is what it is. It's Monday, December, what is it? December 2nd. It's Monday, December 2nd in the year of our Lord. And the hardcore band Knock Loose has played on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and people are clutching their pearls. People are not happy when bands that have screaming in them go on to these talk show hosts. They are not, you know what I mean? They have a woman who is at home with her child, and she probably has a yeast infection, and her baby's dying because the baby is being held on her chest while the yeasty waftiness from her vagina, it's just killing the child. She's killing it every single day with her vagina yeast. And she thinks the worst thing that can happen to this baby is her watching Knock Loose on accident while she's watching the Jimmy Kimmel show. Knock Loose is a hardcore, metal-y, hardcore band. They've had Metallica on, they've had Slipknot on, they've had all these other like hardcore, not hardcore bands, but these metal bands on. I think this is the first time they've had like a really hardcore band on, or a band with influences that are that extreme. I mean, the band's pretty nuts. If you guys haven't heard them before, they're called Knock Loose. They're good. I've been a fan for a while. I didn't know they'd be this big. I had no idea that they would that their music would translate into this stratosphere. They're nominated for a Grammy. Oh, I gotta snort. They're nominated for a Grammy. So, you know what could have happened last episode? I didn't think about this until now. While I was hitting the mute button, snorting, and then hitting the mute button again, what if I forgot to unhit the mute button? Because I don't listen to the episode after it gets taped. When the episode's out, it's out. I don't listen to it. Some people are like, yeah, but you fucking said this on the episode. How dare you? I'm like, I don't remember saying anything. I just project my ADD onto all of you people, and then this goes live. And then, I get unfollowed by like six people every week. Every week. I say something. I say something. You know what I mean? Not intentionally. Obviously, I don't say anything intentionally to piss you guys off. I just saw a movie called Subservience where Megan Fox, oh, look at that. There's my cat. She's climbing up. What are you gonna do? She gonna You're the best thing in the entire world. You know that? If something were to ever happen to you, I would kill myself. That's not true. I'd probably just get another cat. But for the sake of dramatization and encapsulating that moment with love and and tenderness for my cat, I would kill myself. I would probably just get another cat. So a movie called Subservience came out, and it's Megan Fox as a robot. So this guy, his wife goes to the hospital. She's having heart problems. So she goes to the hospital, she's waiting for a heart. Meanwhile, the dude's at home with the two kids. He's like, it's chaos. They try to depict chaos. And obviously he's a nice guy. She's a foreman for a construction site. He's trying his best to keep the family all together and sane through a hard time. He's got an infant kid. He's got maybe like a 6 or 7 year old. So he's doing the best he can. He sees an AI robot, Megan Fox, Oh, I think he's walking in the mall or something, and he sees maybe I think he might be at like a showcase, some kind of like open floor. I don't know. I don't know what you would call this, like an expo. There you go. He's at an expo for AI, and he sees this maid, I don't know, maid life helper, and he buys her, and of course he gets the Megan Fox version. And at some point, he bangs the shit out of this thing. I There's scenes in this movie where I don't understand. Like Megan Fox is essentially like underneath. It shows her changing, and she's got like lingerie underneath her clothes, and it's immediate immediate erection. Immediately, your penis is just it's like this, and you want this guy to bang you. Like if you fuck this up for me, I'll be upset because if it was me in this movie, I would need to look in the manual to figure out like I would need to call customer service and be like, "Hey, I got too much liquid in this robot. What do I do? What do I do?" And they'll be like, "What do you mean?" I'll be like, "What do you mean? What do I mean? I have shot so much cum into it came out of her eyeballs from her vagina. Like I was in the bottom part, and there's so much in there. It's leaking out of the ears. It's leaking out of the eye. It looks like Mother Mary. Okay, it's Mother Mary, but with cum. Like her eyes are just leaking fluid, and it's very sacrilegious what I'm saying right now. But it's the only like because she bleed Mother Mary, like the statue, she bleeds blood, but it's cum and it's Megan Fox. It's Megan Fox. First of all, the wife gets mad that he banged the robot, which is the dumbest. It's a fleshlight that talks. It's a robot. Can we all just? I know that everyone's upset. It's a robot, and your wife's in the hospital. If my wife went to the hospital, you're lucky if I don't bang your friends. You're just lucky. I probably will. I probably will. I'll fuck their feet, and you know what? That's not cheating. Fucking feet. It's not cheating. I'm not even into that, but whatever. You got to rub your penis on something. I'm not humping on the couch like some of my friends. God, I can't believe that reference came out. Um, you're banging the doll. You're banging. She's walking around. She's like, "What can I do for you? How are you?" I'm like, "There's only one answer to those questions. There's only what do you even say? How can I help you? You are a Megan Fox robot. You know exactly how you can help me. You know exactly how you can help me. The bookshelf needs to be dusted. No, I need you to reach underneath my like go from behind me, reach through my legs and jack me off upside down. I what do you even and then the wife gets mad because yeah, I'm gonna take the children and we're gonna go to my mom's house. Fine. Well, oh no, what am I gonna do with this empty house that's so beautiful? I love when the lady leaves and the guy gets to stay home. That's rad. And it shows the guy crying. If it was me, it'd be like risky business and I'd be doing the slide in my underwear in the middle of the living room. I would be so happy if my partner moved the fuck out. Uh, I'm just in that situation, like here's what we need to do. We need to do a little assessment. I pay all the bills. You get the fuck out. But yeah, this movie is insane and I highly recommend it. It's not the best movie that you've ever seen, but if you want to see a lady overreact and then just gaslight her in your head, be like, well, you were in the hospital. Who was jacking me off? If you ask me, being in the hospital is selfish. My heart doesn't work. My dick hurts because my balls are full. How about that? Clearly, clearly kidding. So Jaguar changed their logo. It now just says it went from like this cool actual Jaguar cat. Now it just says Jaguar. So they had this really cringy inclusivity meeting. I'm getting fucking tired of these inclusivity meetings. This is starting to sound like a Klan rally. Our attack against women. There was no attack against women. It was just a joke about a stupid movie that I saw about banging a fleshlight. You can't be mad that you bang a fleshlight. When nobody gets mad that people have vibrators. And if you do, you're a weirdo because just let people be happy. If your wife has a vibrator, let her have a vibrator. Okay, probably saves your life because she wants to kill you 5 times out of the week. The vibrator lessens that to zero. Hold on. I gotta do it again. Hold on. No editing in this podcast. We trudge through. Um, Inclusivity is cool. I like it. But can we like stop talking about it so much? Because the meeting at Jaguar that was released to the public, it's just like this guy with a really light voice, and he's like, "I want everyone to feel safe." And isn't that, don't we do enough of these dumb corporate? I work for a corporation, and we have to do these workplace violence like these dumb modules every month. How do you not know that it's not okay to go up to your coworker and be like, "You're a faggot"? You can't do that. Can't do it. It's not okay. We know it's not okay. It's not a normal thing. You can't, you know what I mean? Just don't do it. I don't know how it's. Do we need to do these stupid inclusivity modules every like it isn't it kind of racist to be like, well, we need to hire a black guy. We have to hire a black guy. How about you hire people based on their capability and intelligence? And if one of them has to be people, if one of them happens to be ladies, people of color, white guys, Asian, who gives a fuck? Just hire people that are qualified for the job. I don't understand why this is so hard. Why do you want inclusivity? This is where inclusivity sucks because sometimes people get passed up even though they're very qualified for a job for someone who's not as qualified, but they get hired just because they're different. They look different than everyone else on the staff. And I don't agree with that. I think people should just be people should just be hired based on their ability, their capability. And this is not me with a Confederate flag going, we should only hire white. No, I don't care what color they are. If it's all Asian people at an accounting firm because they just happen to be good at math, just fucking hire them. Who cares? Who cares? Just hire who's qualified. Why do you fucking want people on staff that aren't qualified, but it's just like it caters to your white guilt. If you have white guilt, you should go to therapy and talk about it and have a therapist instruct you on how to contribute into society and donate to charity, volunteer your time at a boys and girls club, wherever you can, where underprivileged people or wherever the fuck. I'm not implying that everybody of color is underprivileged, okay? I'm just simply saying inclusivity is getting annoying because we have to talk about it all the time. Why can't it be something that we incorporate just like silently? Like, hey, if you make someone of color feel uncomfortable, we will fire you. We're not doing weekly modules on this. You will be fired. You will be fired because it is not cool to be racist. That's stupid. But at the same time, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it all the time. We have to hire this lady that used to have a vagina, but now it's now been sucked out and it's a looks like her vagina looks like Snuffleupagus now. It's like a elephant trunk, but like smaller and like a hot dog form. Like if someone cut a hot dog in half, but there's wrinkles in it still, but there's no veins. I don't know. I don't know. It's just getting annoying. Like trans, who gives a fuck? If you want to be what you want to be, and then you just work where you want to work, and then people hire you. It sucks when people are discriminatory. It really does. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. But like, come on. We have to talk about it all the time. I'm tired of doing these modules. And it's not just Jaguar. Like I have to do modules at work too. We got to move on. We got to move on. Fuck. I was not keeping track of how long this is. I was not keeping track of how long this was. All right. Now we are. Joe Rogan. I'm having a hard time hating Joe Rogan. I really am. Joe Rogan came out and endorsed Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Trump. I'm not a fan. You know, I like free speech. I love free speech. I like being able to come on here and be like tranny, trans, like, you know what I mean? Like whatever joke that I come on here and say that's low hanging fruit or whatever. It's my podcast. I can do whatever I want. But I do love that I can come on here and tell the jokes that I tell. You know what I mean? None of them are scripted. They're all, I mean, I have like bullet points of things I want to talk about, but no, there's no like it just says Joe Rogan on it. It doesn't say fucking tell a joke, or it just says inclusivity at Jaguar. And I didn't, you know what I mean? The subservience, I didn't have anything written out either for the film. I did do a review on it though. Joe Rogan. I'm not gonna listen to Joe Rogan interview a fucking scientist because I don't think I believe in his science. But listening to him talk to other comedians, it makes my heart happy because comedy is my entire life. So I will continue to listen to Joe Rogan unapologetically. And I don't think I'm going to listen to him when he has political people on. I listen to Tim Dillon. I like Tim Dillon. I I'm having issues. I don't think that Donald Trump is going to ruin the country. I think that states are going to ruin the country. Donald Trump is going to leave Roe v. Wade up to the states. It's going to be a state by state thing. Some states will ban it. Other states will not. California's blue as shit. So there's no way Roe v. Wade is going to get banned in this state. There's no way this is always going to be like a safe state to come and get an abortion at. But it fucking sucks tremendously that there are some states that aren't going to have the protections that I have. So I don't know. Like knowing that Joe Rogan endorsed that sucks. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of comedians that endorse Donald Trump, but I don't know. Do I hate these people? Do I not hate these people? And I know we talked about this in recent episodes where I was like, hey, I'm going to do the best I can to like hang out at the barbecue and I don't give a fuck who you voted for. But now that we're at a point where it's like the election happened, Donald Trump won. Does it matter who you voted for? 100%. 100%. And they're saying fucking Joe Biden's giving missiles to Ukraine. Yeah, because Ukraine's getting stomped on by the second biggest country in the entire world is Russia. And they're stomping on the Ukraine. And the war's been going on forever. It's been like 3 years now, 2 years. It's been a long fucking time. I think it's been the entirety. The war has gone on the entirety of the Biden administration. So here's how I see it. Russia conquers Ukraine. Okay. We don't help them. Russia conquers Ukraine. Um, Korea's already ready to go. Like North Korea is ready to go. So that's an issue. Okay. And they've been helping Russia. So Russia conquers the Ukraine. Russia extends its reach. Russia's not going to fucking stop at the Ukraine. Russia's going to keep going and they're going to like violate whatever the fuck. They're going to violate NATO protocol and other countries are going to have to get involved. And then we're going to have to get involved because we're involved with NATO and then North Korea is going to get involved and it will be a world war. So it's coming no matter what. And if you think that us giving missiles to Ukraine is the reason, you're a fucking moron. This was always going to happen. The only reason we're giving missiles to Ukraine is because it's like the bully's coming for the small kid, which is Ukraine. We're just giving the small kid brass knuckles. That's it, to defend himself because this bully is 3 times his size. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. It's World War III. It's stop reading the blueprinted articles, you morons. Like, please actually click it and read it and understand that like there's way more to this. And I'm not a learned I don't know. I'm not on the know with every single thing. I couldn't stand next to that dude that's on TikTok all the time and fucking go toe to toe with them. But I know enough to know that like, hey, there's reasons why these happen. Biden's just being petty. That's not the fucking reason because why would you be petty with missiles in another country? You know what I mean? That's going to kill lots of other people. There's probably casualties of the civilian. Like they're just Ukraine's just trying to keep their head above water. A guy got broken up with at work. I got to tell you guys. So I work with this dude, and he's the one that's dating the chick that's like super young, and I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I fucking tell it to his face. So there's nothing on here. He's a nice guy. He's a super nice guy. I like him. I like him as a person. I think that dating someone younger dating if you're 31 and you're dating an 18-year-old, I think that's predatory and I think it's wrong and I judge whatever. I judge you. Oh well, it's not the worst thing in the world. My judgment does not come with any fees. It doesn't get you in jail. It just means like I think you're a fucking weirdo, pedophile, whatever the fuck. Well, this chick broke up with him at work. It was the craziest thing. It I've never seen 31-year-old man cry like this. But like with the face because an 18-year-old broke up with him. What do you think at that point in time? Like if a 18-year-old breaks up with you at work, don't you think that like you don't think you and the 18-year-old are going to get married, right? Like that's not that you can't think that. It has to just be like, oh, I'm just dating you because going out with you is really fun and this will run its course. And then when it does, we will both separate. Because there are people that are like, what's the point of that? It's like, well, the experience. That's the point. Like that is, and this is on like his side of the field is what I'm talking about. I'm like justifying the reasoning that you may find it fun to just date without the institution of marriage looming over because you just want to have fun. You're just out there to have fun. It's not meaningless fun. Everything means something to somebody. I'm not saying, I don't think they're banging. I'm telling you right now, this chick is very, very religious. I don't think there's no, you know what I mean? I don't think he needs to get a Megan Fox robot. I think he does. I need to get a Megan Fox robot. I, I would fuck that robot so much that it would find a way to get pregnant. It'd be like, there's too much load in me. And now I'm pregnant. It like there's so much load that it grew a reproductive system, all made of my cum, and now there's a baby in there. It's a goo baby. There's so much fucking there'd be so much goo. There would be so much goo because Megan Fox is insane looking. I there's people that are like, no, she's not. She's not that great. You fuck. Can we just be honest with each other, please? Like she's not a normal looking person. She's like an Amazonian Aztec queen, goddess. It's insane. And it is what it is. Like that's not it's just being observant. You know what I mean? I think who does my girlfriend like? My girlfriend thinks that what's the hold on, let me look this up real quick. I didn't look up anything. I just had to snort. What's his name? Mm. Well, he's singer of MXPX. I don't give a shit. I honestly, if she met him, I hope they run away together because then I get to live by myself. Living by myself would be rad. Why don't you just break up with her? Shut up. It's not that easy. But yeah, he gets broken up with at work by this lady, and then they get back together. But here's the thing: I was in his section when he got broken up with at work, and they let him go home first. I wanted to fucking kill him. I was like, "What? You knew this was going to happen. There's no way that you are 31 years old and you don't think an 18-year-old, like she's going to break up with you and date someone her own fucking age. The only reason she hasn't dated someone her own age is because she's like ultra religious and she won't do anything with other dudes' penises. That's the only reason you're dead because you don't care because you're like asexual or something. You're like, I don't care. I don't need to have sex. It's totally fine. And then that's what's going on with that situation. This is my interpretation. Obviously, I'm not going to use names. They will never listen to this, and if they ever do, I don't care. I don't care. It is what it is. Make sure that you're stealing from work because your boss makes so much more money than you do, and they will replace you the day after that you die. So make sure you're stealing from work. I don't know. I don't steal from work because I work at a restaurant and there's nothing there that like I really want. But fucking steal from work, please. Your company doesn't give a shit about you. Your boss doesn't give a shit about you. They'd replace you the day after that you left. Just steal from work. You have my blessing. Being mean to guests. I have been extremely mean to the people that come into my work. The other day, a lady asked for coffee, and I said, we're at war with there's a war going on in Colombia, and we can't get coffee right now, ma'am. Sorry. That's absolutely not true. But I told her that. The other day, a lady asked for a straw, and I'm like, you know what? The turtles, we don't do straws. We don't. There are people all around this lady sitting with straws. And I tell her this, and she goes, "Oh, that's terrible. Okay, no worries." Every table around this lady's got straws. I'm fucking with her. She doesn't know. I'm at the point where I'm just, no matter what, if you ask me, hey, do you guys have pickles here? I'd be like, there's a cucumber shortage in the United States, and we can't, for some reason, the imports on pickles have gone, or the imports on cucumbers have gone up so much that we absolutely cannot get pickle. I'm willing anything to inconvenience people is what I want to do. And there's no one's gonna do shit about it. No one I won't get written up. I won't get talked to. If I do get talked to, I'll get an attitude. And I will find a way to vindicate my actions to the point of where no one's going to do shit about it. And it's so much fun to do this to guests. It's so much just to see the terror in their eyes. Like I can't even get a fucking pickle. It's so good. And I only do it to tables that are being like difficult. You're like they're already mad and I just want to like push them over that threshold. I want you to be upset. I want you to be upset because your dismay, all it does is make my beard grow thicker. All it does is make the wrinkles in my forehead go away. It smooths out my mood. It's like a shot of Jack Daniels when you're sad. And I get to wait on this table. And I call up. The other day I waited on a table and I was like, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" And they're like, "We're really bad. This happened, this happened." I'm like, "Okay, what can I do for you?" I love when people don't understand how conversation works. When I ask you how you're doing, you say good or fine. You know, there's no explanation because I don't give a fuck. I don't care. If you give me an explanation, I will look at you in the eye and be like, "Okay, want a Coke? Can I get you a Sprite? Would you like a shot of Grey Goose?" Like there's nothing in me that's like, "Hey, oh, I'm so sorry." That I'm not sorry. Horrible shit happens to everybody every day. I don't give a fuck. Tell me what you want, give me your tip money, and take your fat kid and fuck off. That's that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's you. I get paid $16 an hour. Go fuck yourself. I'm not your therapist. Don't tell me shit. If it was one of my friends, I would 100% sit there and have a conversation with them. Thus, and with that, guess where we're going to go right now? We're going to go to Q&A. This is a new segment on the podcast where people ask questions. People write in questions. I tell them, you write in questions, I will answer them on the podcast. And we got three of them. We got three of them. Let's go into number one from Ashley. Sorry to snort again. But we got this down. Ashley wants to know, how do you know when it's time to call it quits with a romantic partner? How do you know when it's time to call it quits with a romantic partner? Shit. I don't have you been with this partner for a long time? Is this a long term? Those conversations are really hard to have. It's very, very hard to tell someone like, "Hey, you have gotten so fucking fat. I have to go." Because love is blind for sure, but you still have hands and you can still feel when someone is morbidly obese and you're like, "You fat, you slug fuck. I gotta go." Um, I don't, I think that I might be more of a proponent in working it out. And I'll tell you this. I think like if you're always fighting and you're always miserable and it always sucks, then it's worth it to have a conversation and end the relationship, right? But if you're just bored, if you're bored, like throw some thigh highs on that lady or like tell your man to like fucking, I don't know, like wear some suspenders and dress like he's from like 1930. There's always like cool, easy aesthetical things that you could do, you know what I mean, to spice shit up. if you're bored. Go out on a date. Treat it like a date. You go on a date, you make out, you know what I mean? You have a couple drinks, take a walk around the lake, come home, and everybody like both people are a little tipsy, and you know what I mean? You start making out in the kitchen, you put her on the counter, and it's just, you know what I mean? I don't know. How does that feel? How say you on that? I always think it's worth it to put in a little bit of effort. You take them on a date, you be spontaneous, you dress like you care. You know what I mean? You put a little effort into your appearance. I know. Why are you so shallow? It's not necessarily being shallow, but I mean, there's tons of people out there that look like $1 million, and I feel like it doesn't hurt us to make an effort for our partner. Like, you don't have to do what I'm telling you to do. I'm just saying that's what I would do. I would fucking go to the gym. I would lose a little bit of weight. I would drink more water. I would work on my attitude. I would make sure that like everything, all the reasons that this relationship is not working for you, I would make sure that I am doing my part. And if this relationship is not working, it's not on me. And I'm not saying I get to blame the other person, but like you can't control the other person. You can't control them at all. You control you. You're like, hey, do I look good? Do I feel good? Am I happy? Because if all those three things align and this relationship still isn't working, then this isn't on me. This is definitely like maybe the other person. Maybe they don't like me anymore. Maybe they don't. But if I feel good about me and I'm doing all the things that I need to do to make me feel like I'm good, then I'm good. And I don't mean to be superficial, but we are human beings, and this is not all fuck. This is not sickness and health. This is like we need to be our best selves. If I'm not my best self, how can I expect someone to like me? But I am my best self right now. Well, your boy's a little fat right now because we just got done with Thanksgiving. Okay, but I'm not like fat. Uh, I'm not. I'm not noticeably fat. You know what I mean? I'm soft, but that's something that I can get control of and I can fix, and I can make sure that I'm being my best self and putting my best foot forward. That's all we can do. You know what I mean? But I work too much. Okay, cool. Then you could still eat healthy, feel good about you, and if you feel good about you, feel good, look good. You know what I mean? You don't have to have a six pack. I'm not saying when you sit down, if the tummy goes over the pants, that's fine. But like if you're 250, you know what I mean? 250, if you're in the 200s, no excuse. No excuse, man or woman. No excuse. I don't want to hear it. If you're 250 and your relationship's not working out, you're the problem. Sorry. But you got to put the effort in. You got to go on dates. You got to have conversations. You got to talk about stuff. Make sure that you guys like align politically. I am a firm believer. If you do not believe the same thing politically, you will not work out. There's no fucking way that a Democrat and a Republican can be in a relationship. There's the belief systems are too different. You know what I mean? You can't have a Democrat lady and a Republican man where the man's like, you have to have this baby, and the woman's like, but it's from my uncle, and the husband's like, no, fuck you, have the baby. I don't care if it's from your uncle, and you're like, but it's gonna look like a hunchback of Notre Dame. The guy's like, I'd still sneak into its room and fuck it too. That's what Republicans do. They sneak into babies' rooms and they fuck them. It's weird. It's weird. The dick's bigger. Your dick's bigger than the baby at that point, but they still do it because Republicans they have sex with kids, and it's sad. It's very very sad. Um, but yeah, I hope that answers your question, Ashley. How do you know when it's time to call it quits with a romantic partner? I think if you have made all of the effort to make the relationship prosper and do well, and it is still not doing well, you feel good about yourself, you feel good, you're doing all the things that you need to do, and that energy is not being reciprocated, then it's probably time to call it quits. Is when both people are not putting in effort. Relationships aren't 50-50. Sometimes they're 70-30, 80-20, 20-80, whatever the fuck. But it doesn't always need to be 80-20. And if it always feels like 80-20, then that's probably when you got to get out of there. Make sure that you feel value. You know what I mean? And you don't have to have a six pack. You don't have to be in crazy good shape. You know what I mean? If we are always trying to be better, Like if we say no to dessert once a week and we're normally having dessert 3 times a week, that's still a step in the right direction. That's still helping us achieve some sort of like I am better next week than I am. You know what I mean? But if you just like let go and you're eating pasta every day, go fuck yourself. Um, I hope that helps. Liz wants to know how big is your dick? That's crazy. That's but finally a question I can answer in a very short format. It's if I if it's as hard as it can possibly be, if it's as hard as it can absolutely be, it's like 6.2 inches. But let me tell you something. This is the hack, okay? Before I hook up with someone, before I would ever hook up with someone, not now, but before I would ever hook up with someone back in the day, I make sure that thing is not soft. Like I smack it on whatever I can. If I'm extra makeout time so that like it can like so it goes from the pinky, which is very sad. That's actually a very accurate depiction of what it looks like small. And like it goes into that. You know what I mean? Or yeah, it goes into like this after the makeout and the rub and the friction, and I can walk around with it like that. You know what I mean? Is if there's a little bit of chub, I'm down walking around with it. I'm down, but I am so uncomfortable when it's just flaccid and it's cold and wet and gross. Like when I get out of the shower, no one's more sad than me. I look down and I'm like, you fucking trans. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I look down at my penis and I think to myself, this is crazy how small it gets. It is crazy how small it gets. But you know what? I'm very, very happy that it grows to the size that it grows. It's not big by any means. It's not big by any means, but it does. I've never had someone walk away like, oh, man. Usually, like they're like, yeah, it wasn't the worst experience I've ever had, and that is what I leave you with. Last question. Rob wants to know how to deal with a job you absolutely hate. Rob, fuck off. That's that hit me right. I feel like nobody likes their job. We all work because we have to. It's a part of like, we contribute to like a tax paying society. So like roads can get made through taxes, through like, like taxes can pay for our education system because it's free public school. Um, I think that you have to have an amazing home life. You have to take steps because you can't control work, right? Have a great home life. But if you absolutely hate work, you gotta find a job that you absolutely don't hate. Because I don't hate my job. I hate some of the guests that come in, but there's like 90% of the guests that I greet with a smile and then I'm very, very happy to help because they're very, very kind and nice. But there's like 10% of them that I fuck with. I absolutely fuck with. The coffee we don't have because Colombia's at war. Like, get out of here. Do you have iced tea? We just have tea. We don't have iced tea. Do you have hot tea? I'm like, no, just tea. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I can get water and I could put like a bag of salt in it. They get so fucking mad, but I think it's funny. And if my boss ever hears this, I'm fucking fired. Hi, Mike. Um, well, shoot, what was I saying? How to deal with the job. Yeah, I don't hate my job, dude. I love the people that I work with. First and foremost, like my coworkers are awesome, even though like you guys heard me talk shit on. I didn't really talk shit. I just kind of explained the situation and how I felt about like dating someone like that young. Because like, what do I have in common with an 18-year-old? That's like 20 years younger than me, dude. There's no way. Um, like I see that girl and I ask her like, hey, did you fucking do your homework? Like I feel very like brotherly and paternal to a chick that young. Like I wanna like, are you okay? You good? You want to walk to your car? You safe? All right, cool. Later. Fist bump. Fist bump always, bro. Like I don't know. I want those like young kids to be safe and be taken care of and be happy. I don't want to I don't want to fuck them. It's weird. That's weird. Um, the job thing, you got to look for another job. My first advice would be look for another job. While you have a job now, look for another job. But if you obviously you can't help that. You can't help who hires you. So here's what I will give you. Live your best life at home. Live a life that you fucking absolutely love. I do movie reviews, even though I know I'm not going to be famous doing movie reviews. I still do them because they bring me joy and I get to talk to other people about horror movies. Makes me happy. So that helps going to work. I don't love my job, but I don't hate my job. And my home life is really great. I love my cats. I love my cats, and I love my cats. So that gives me something to look forward to going home to. So I guess, you know, bring an earbud to work, listen to a podcast. You know what I mean? They're small, dude. Bring an earbud, put your hood over put your hood over your head. You know what I mean? While you're at the computer doing whatever the fuck, and you just listen to a podcast. Listen to this podcast, the Taylor Complains Comedy Podcast. It'll get you through the workday. It'll get you through the workday. And I'm sorry that you don't like your job, brother. I hope that things get better for you. And listen, I might not be the best person giving advice. I don't know. Maybe the best advice is to quit your job and fucking go poor, but I don't want that for you. I want you to have a steady source of income. I try to be pragmatic and practical about this. All right. You don't quit a job until you have another job because then you don't have a way to pay the bills. So I don't know. That's just, it is what it is. Liz, thank you for asking about my dick. Ashley, good, best of luck with your partner problems. It says with romantic partner. You could be a lesbian. You know, let's make sure that we're the best version of ourselves before we judge other people. Okay. You know, unless there's like fucking abuse or some shit going on, then obviously you leave immediately. But I always believe it's worth it to put the effort towards preserving a relationship rather than just incinerating it immediately. Let's see. We talked about Knock Loose on Jimmy Kimmel, the movie Subservience, inclusivity at Jaguar, Joe Rogan, dude getting broken up with at work, stealing at work, being mean to guests at work. Oh, I have a joke. Before we go, nah, I'll leave it. I love you guys. We're gonna end the podcast. This is going out tonight. This is a long one. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to my ignorance. I appreciate it. This is my therapy, clearly. You guys take care of yourselves and don't rape anybody.